Okay, thank you for that, Poonam, Abhi, Niu, Ankur, and Nikhil. I hope that session was insightful for all you creators. You've now learned how to ideate for content that appeals to your audiences. But the next step is, how do you convert those ideas into content? In other words, how do you produce those videos? And to help you through that process, I have Anuj from our partner experiences team with a panel of some creators who make visually stunning content. So over to you, Anuj.
Hello. Thank you so much, Krishna. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to this panel on production and making your content stand out. What better way to learn about this from other than three successful creators who've had some serious production glow ups in their creator journeys? Um, I'd like to quickly give you all introductions. So welcome Indrani from ℍ𝕒𝕦𝕝, who creates some wonderful comedy content in Bengali and is also a Next Up alumni. We have Shivesh here from Bake with Shivesh. You basically inspired me to purchase an oven as soon as shops opened after lockdown last year. So thanks for that. And we have 𝕨𝕜𝕝 from ℍ𝕒𝕝, who creates gaming content on YouTube and has also just crossed 10 million subscribers. So massive congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Huge milestone. Hope you're all pumped for today, considering what has happened over for you and all of you as well.
Yes.
Now, coming to the topic of this session, over time, all three of you have pushed your production skills to better execute your creative vision, and you've really pushed the bar up as you've created more and more content. So I'm really interested in how you actually started. Let's start with ℍ𝕒𝕝. You started off with videos where you gamed while in the voicing popular actors from India, and we want to know, how did you shoot those early videos, and how has the journey been to arrive at this lovely setup you use now for your videos today?
So initially when I started, like my first video which I shot was actually I shot it on my phone camera. It was basically a mimicry video, and I just started a channel named Mythpad because like my friends used to call me Mythpad because my name is Mithilesh Patankar. I just made a channel. I started. I had to upload one video, and I realized that okay, chalo, I can do Hrithik Roshan's mimicry. I can do this actor's mimicry, that actor's mimicry. I'll make a quick video of 30 seconds because it's not going to take that much efforts, and I'll just upload it on YouTube. So I uploaded it, and I shared it with my friends, and that video got about say 100 views in a day or something. But actually in that video, even my face wasn't seen because I had actually used a filter to change my face. So that's where I think the journey of the entire like I won't reveal my face thing, which is like a very trending thing now, started. Basically, I started making videos using my voice only. Like a lot of people talk about like, okay, we need good cameras, we need good microphones and all that. I think when I initially started off, I had all the basic stuff and actually didn't even use camera because I simply just recorded the gameplay videos, and I did a good I tried to do good commentary on them. I edited the videos and I posted them. After a while, what happened was I think I wanted to do my face reveal, for which I also needed a good camera. I reached about 500k subscribers, and I think that's when I used the basic webcam initially to make few videos. I made like 2-3 videos. Then what I noticed was in India, especially in India, I used to watch a lot of foreign creators. So in India, nobody actually in the gaming sector, nobody actually took production seriously. Like I used to, even I did not know about all this. I used to just see that, okay, there's this good camera quality, there's this nice bokeh effect, oh, there are these nice lights behind and all these things. So मुझे हमेशा ऐसा लगता था कि ये चीज इंडिया में अभी तक गेमिंग में किसी ने नहीं किया था. So फिर मैंने रिसर्च किया, फिर मैंने देखा ओके इसके लिए 50,000, 60,000, 80,000 का कैमरा लगता है, इसके लिए ये वाली लेंस लगती है जो कोई 50mm 16mm जो भी लेंस होती है, ओके उसमें अपर्चर 1.4 लगता है, ये सब ऐसे भारी वाली चीजें होती है. And I asked myself, do I really need it at that time? And I was in two thoughts ki, okay, at that time I was spending 80,000 rupees on this. Will this be worth it, or should I wait more 2, 3, 4 months for this and then buy it? But then I made a decision. I think that was one of the best decisions for my YouTube, because I always, whenever I buy things, I always think, yaar, ye worth hoga ki nahi hoga. And after I bought the camera, I was like, ये वसूल हो गया पूरा, क्योंकि वो कैमरा से मैंने इतने सारे ऑफ कोर्स वीडियोस बनाए हैं, तो ऑफ कोर्स ऑल दैट गॉट कवर्ड अप. बट आई एम आल्सो लाइक इट I'm also happy that I was one of the few creators पहले जिन्होंने like who took production seriously, and even till date I take like production very seriously. I need like a good mic, I need like a good camera, but to start off you don't really need all this, because even I started without showing my face.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much. I think that really shows that, the starting point is just curiosity almost, that let me just try this out. And then slowly you realize that someone relates to you and you build an audience and you want to then do more for them as well and for your passion. I think we will get a request for you to speak in one of those voices that you started off with later on, if you're up for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be great to hear you maybe answer one of the questions later on in a voice. But yes, Shivesh, you started. Your first public upload was 2 years ago, and again, what was your production setup like when you first shot that video, and how has that changed over the last couple of years? I think Shivesh, you might be on mute.
Oops, sorry. Am I audible now?
Yep.
Awesome. Sorry. So I was saying that even when I started my channel 2 years back, production was something that was, something that I really wanted to focus on, because I realized that with something like food, especially, it has to also look visually very appealing and delicious and tempting, so that people could actually, be tempted enough to try out the recipe. So production was always a focus for me, but then I also had a very limited knowledge and absolutely no experience of creating video content, right? I had always only taken stills before that. So video was a completely different territory that I was getting into. And I feel like I kind of missed out on a lot of basics, which now when I look back is very surprising to me. But I, didn't focus on getting, say, a microphone for my videos. And I just thought that maybe the mic that is attached to the camera would do the job. But when the edit came to me, there was a lot of noise. And initially, I kind of struggled with that a lot, because even the people who were watching the video had to kind of do extra focus and extra effort into understanding as to what is actually happening in the video. And I've also recently now invested in studio lights, which I see now the kind of difference that it makes to the final product. So there definitely has been a lot of upgrades in terms of sound quality, in terms of the light, is to make the entire setup look a little brighter. But I think I completely agree to what we just said about starting from what you have. And I feel like a lot of people wait that I'm going to start creating videos once I have this expensive camera, or I have this microphone, or I have a setup which looks a certain way. But I feel that instead of waiting for all of those things to align, you should just start creating content with the setup that you have. And I think that's most important, to kind of just start first and then upgrade as you go.
I completely agree with that, and I think you make a very great point when you talk about the viewing experience, where people had to kind of really listen in and do things on their end.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the biggest benchmarks for ensuring you have good production quality is making sure that people can watch it just by clicking the video. They don't have to adjust the volume. They don't have to adjust anything on their screen.
Absolutely.
To be able to watch it comfortably. I think that's a great benchmark as well for all creators when we're editing. I know that at least one thing I do when I'm editing videos is I sort of finish the video and then I give it a day or two, so I can go back to it with fresh eyes and ears, and I can really hear some things or see some things that I didn't notice before, because I've watched the video at least 15 times at that point. So I think that really highlights an important factor in creation. Indrani, how about you? You started off with how my Bengali mom reacts in the salon 4 years ago, and you make similar comedy content today as well. But
Oh
how
my
did you
God,
shoot that?
don't remind me of those videos, please. That video was horrible, with a horrible super hanging camera like smartphone. I'm sure everyone will agree with me, like a super hanging smartphone and some outdoor lights, because that's all we had, natural lights back then. And I had a tripod with me and a lapel mic that I bought from an online shopping site. So that was the only thing that I had with me. And that online that you were talking about, that salon, in that salon, I went to that salon and I said that just give me 10 minutes and I will make the video. And within 10 minutes I made that video using that horrible sound whatever I had in like back then. But yeah, that was my first video and I really love it still. because even with such limited amount of production, I made sure to like come up with a story that what happens when Bengali moms are always there with their daughters in a salon, and how they manipulate their daughter to have their haircut in their own way. So even then, back then, I always thought that sound is a very important part of any video. Like even before making a video, I made some trial videos with my smartphone first. कि कैसा sound, how does it sound when I shoot the video, like the final export product, and it was not good. So I thought maybe okay, I have just 500 rupees with me, so what should I do? Then I searched online, and like I got this lapel mic that was available at 700 rupees. Then took some 200 rupees, I borrowed it from my sister and bought that mic. So that's how I started. Like from then, things obviously improve, because like all the creators, we are always researching on Google to improve ourselves, to improve our quality of video, like whether a better smartphone will do the trick or better sound will do the trick. So that's how we all improve. And obviously next step happened. Like being a next up winner helped me a lot, because we got some like devices, gadgets from YouTube that helped us pump up and up our the production game. And from then there was no looking back ever. So like thanks to YouTube, I bought a lot of lights with good CRI. I bought a lens. I bought mic, two mics. So yeah, those were my primary like things in the production after next up. And now the things have obviously improved with the requirements of the videos, because right now I have two channels, and I come up with videos on both the channels. One is a review channel, and another is a sketch video channel. So both have different requirements. One is a studio light kind of thing, the other is a natural light and more different kind of a production aspect. So both are very very different, but yeah, that's how life is going now. So yeah.
That's awesome. I think I'm just going to take this moment to share some gyan for all the creators watching us. I think you mentioned the word CRI, which means color rendering index. For creators who don't know what that means, it basically tells you how well a light will perform when you use a camera with it. So, for example, you might be facing issues where you are wearing a blue T-shirt but it looks green. That's probably because the lights on your the CRI on your lights is not great. So that's something to look out for when you're purchasing your equipment. And to Next Up as well, fun fact, I'm also a Next Up winner in the past. And I think for those of you who are wondering what Next Up is, it's a program that YouTube runs from time to time. And it's a contest where creators can compete and get a chance to win, the chance to attend a creator camp and a chance to also purchase some production equipment. If you want to know when it's happening in India next, definitely go and follow YouTube Creators India on Instagram, YT Creators India on Twitter, and of course our YouTube channel. So moving on, just wanted to explain those few things that some creators may not know about. A question for all of you, what are the three things that you make sure you do now before, during, or after a shoot that you didn't do when you started off, or maybe didn't even do a year ago or 2 years ago?
I will start. So the first thing that I look forward to whenever I'm going out for a shoot is check my cards, SD cards, if whether they are formatted or not, whether they're completely empty or not. Because what happens is sometimes you forget, because you have back-to-back two shoots, like one shoot with on this topic, another shoot on this topic, and you have maybe say 3 4 5 SD cards with you, and some are filled like half empty, some are half filled. So this is a kind of a problem that I have faced a lot, and I had to kind of search a laptop in the middle of the shoot and then copy. So these are some things that I always maintain. Like my sound card is completely formatted, empty, camera, everything is completely formatted. And after shoot, always copy everything. And yeah, batteries are always charged. That's another very important thing that I need to make sure. Even when and also yeah, that goes for my review channel. When it comes to my 𝕨𝕠𝕦𝕋𝕦𝕡 sketch comedy, we always work with 3 4 characters, 3 4 actors on the set. So for their mics, I have to check whether their mics are all okay or not. Like after every shot, I check whether the sound was recorded or not. If the sound is not recorded, then hell comes on our heads. Like it's like disaster, because sound is 50% of your video. In fact, all the creators should take this point that 50% of your video is sound. If you are not recording your sound properly at a proper dB, then I think the half of your effort is goes to ruin. Like it's ruined. So yeah, always make sure, even if video is buggy, even if it has a high ISO, it's grainy, it doesn't matter. Your sound has to be good. So that's something that we always make sure whenever we are out on a shoot.
Awesome. That's really important insights, Mithlesh.
Kind of the same, because like initially when I used to start, like I used to always see this, like my sound levels in my PC used to always like go up till 90 dB. So I set it at around 70 dB, and they used to always reach 90 dB and all. And multiple times this has happened. Like I've been recording my game, and the videos have been amazing. And then when I'm on the edit table, I see like the sound is like literally कान में चुभ रहा होता है. So अभी हमेशा जब भी मैं रिकॉर्ड करता हूँ उसके पहले मैं हमेशा इंश्योर करता हूँ कि मेरा ऑडियो लेवल प्रॉपर है. And other than that, I also know, even this is, of course, even editing is part of your production. So I always ensure, like, that there have been times like I've been editing straight for 8 hours, and then your PC just decides कि नहीं करने का edit, नहीं करने का upload, जाओ. ऐसे करके PC बंद हो जाता है. ऐसे कितनी बार पहले होता था मेरे साथ. So now I ensure that I do control as basically saving the file every 1 minute, 1.5 minute. It's like a thing built in the memory now. कंट्रोल एस दबाते जाने का every 1.5 minute पे, ताकि वो, क्योंकि ऐसा हुआ है मेरे साथ, मैं 7 घंटा बैठा और उसके बाद पूरा का पूरा फाइल गायब हुआ है, and then I have to sit another 5 hours just to edit everything. So I ensure like all these things are taken care of.
I've experienced all the same things as you're mentioning, both of you. Shivesh?
So for me, I think one very important aspect is to make sure that all the ingredients are measured out before we start shooting. I also always have the final product ready because it always takes too long in the oven. So just to kind of align the production and make sure that everything happens on schedule. For us, like it's 2 days shoot always. So 1 day is prep and the second day is actual production. So that on the day of production, we know everything is ready. So there's no possible mishaps that could happen. No cake can collapse. No frosting can be too runny or things like that. So we always make sure that we try and, organize ourselves 1 day prior as much as possible. And besides that, again, I think what you also mentioned earlier about watching your edit a few times before you actually lock it. So I always, whenever I give my, feedback to my editors, I make sure that I at least watch the entire video a few times, so that, and it always happens that the second time, the third time that I watch it, there are always a few things that come up which I couldn't, point out in the first round of feedbacks that I do. So yeah, these are a couple of things that I like doing to make sure that the videos basically turn out the way that I want them to.
Brilliant. No, I think that's super important as well. Like, making sure that you're sort of going back and referencing what you first imagined the video to be and making sure it is that at the end, I think really helps you feel some fulfillment as well. Moving on to the audience's questions, and we have a few of them and we don't have much time to cover them. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. Jagat Bhatt asks, can you guys talk about your equipment and the applications you use to edit shorts a little bit? So I think if Indrani, you want to go first, what equipment do you have? Maybe all of you can speak about the equipment real quickly before we talk about the applications.
Okay, for shorts, specifically for shorts, what I do, I use my smartphone. Sometimes if, I want a good, I need to look very good, I need good cheek colors, then I use a camera. Other than that, I'm always using my smartphone because it's very fast. You record it, you completely shoot it, and you edit it within 3 hours. Because I'm always shooting on green screen. I always shoot my short videos on green screen.
अच्छा लग रहा है यार. It's been एक तो I really admire कि YouTube की team, हालांकि it's the dominant consumption platform for our country when it comes to video, still never ever skips any occasion to connect the audiences with the creators and to connect the creators within themselves. पिछले 1 साल में इतने सारे अलग-अलग interventions हुए हैं जहां बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग, बहुत ही गुणी लोगों से मिलने का मौका मिला है. Not just from the audience side, but also from the creator side, जैसे पूनम जी बता रही थी. So it's always a joy. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for this opportunity. I am doing very well, and I hope that everyone is safe and sound. The last 1.5 years have been tough for a lot of us in many ways, and I'm hoping that the worst is behind us, and we are looking forward to an opened world in a new avatar.
Wise words, Ankur. Fingers crossed, and let's hope that we have our next creator camp in person. So, hoping for the best. So, let's jump to our panel discussion. And I have a couple of questions which we generally hear from our creators a lot. So, I'll start with Ankur, and this question is for you. Can you please share the importance of understanding your audience? And do you use any particular framework to understand your audience?
So I've been an entrepreneur for the last 12 years, and एक चीज जो स्टार्टअप करना, entrepreneurship करना आपको सिखाता है, वो ये है कि दुनिया को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि आपने जिंदगी में क्या किया है. आप चाहे सबसे बेस्ट स्कूल से पढ़े हों, आपने कितनी फंडिंग उठाई है, आप कितने कूल से ऑफिस में काम करते हैं, आपके कितने नंबर आए थे, किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Everyone is just centered around कि आप उनके लिए क्या बना रहे हैं और क्या वो उनकी जिंदगी में कोई अच्छा बदलाव लाता है या नहीं. And that has been my training and my learning ground for the last decade. So when I started creating content, it was very, very clear कि ये जो first principle है ये बदलने नहीं वाला. क्योंकि मैं कुछ जानता हूँ और मुझे लगता है कि मुझे कुछ पता है, दुनिया को उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. क्योंकि दुनिया वो जानना या वो सीखना या वो सुनना या वो देखना चाहती है जो वो देखना चाहती है. एंड उनका सवाल सिर्फ यही है कि आप ये हमारे लिए कर सकते हैं या नहीं. नहीं तो वो कहीं और जाएंगे, कर सकते हैं तो कितना अच्छा. And that is why it was a very, very engaging experience. जहाँ पिछले 4 साल से जो मैं कंटेंट बना रहा हूँ, it was visible कि जो पहले 3 साल मैंने कंटेंट बनाया था, that was around what I knew, with a very distant understanding कि जनता को वो सुनना भी है, क्या उनको उसको सुनने से फर्क भी पड़ता है या नहीं. But last 1 साल में, when I spent a lot of my time in building this content, the focus was दुनिया को क्या ऐसा सुनना है जो मैं शायद उनके लिए शेयर कर सकता हूँ. And I started creating a lot of content. I started asking a lot of questions. Comment section मेरे लिए बहुत बहुत ही ज़्यादा knowledge base create करता है, where every week I spend time going through it. कम्युनिटी पोस्ट, लोगों से पूछना क्या आप जानना चाहते हैं, क्या आप अलग सीखना चाहते हैं, दूसरे क्रिएटर्स को देखना कि वो क्या अच्छा कर रहे हैं. All that fed into my understanding of the customer. And very clearly, I still am learning, I'm still a student, but every single day there is just so much जो लोग आपको बताते हैं, वो आपसे सीखना चाहते हैं. And if you are able to deliver that, then you have what's called a product market fit or a creator market fit in the job of a creator's industry. And that is when things begin happening for you. If you think that the content you're creating, because you know it better, is going to be received by a lot of the world outside, may happen, but it's quite likely it may not happen. तो कभी भी अपने आप से शुरू मत करिए, दूसरों से शुरू करिए, दुनिया से शुरू करिए. बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो आपको बहुत कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं कि वो आपसे क्या मदद चाहते हैं. And if you can help them in that way, then that is the best way to create content.
That's really great. Thank you for that insightful information, Ankur. I love the fact that you focus on a lot of YouTube features and you focus on your audience first. So you always listen to them through community and every possible communication form. My next question is for Abhi and you. So what steps do you take to grow your audience base? So can you please share around that?
One of the things that we do is कि जब भी हम YouTube वीडियो रिलीज करते हैं, YouTube पे वीडियो रिलीज करते हैं, तो देन हम प्रीमियर करते हैं और वहाँ पे हम लाइव चैट करते हैं फॉर एटलीस्ट हाफ एन आवर. सो देन वो ऑडियंस को पता चलता है कि हम लाइव चैट करते हैं. अभी उनको आदत सी हो गई है, हम हर वीडियो के लिए करते हैं. वी बीन डूइंग इट फॉर एक साल हो गया कि हम कंसिस्टेंटली कर रहे हैं. तो लोगों को अभी वो एक्सपेक्टेशन हो गई कि आप यहाँ जाएंगे तो एक्चुअली क्रिएटर से बात करेंगे. तो फिर वहाँ पे हम लोगों से बात करते हैं, वहाँ लोगों से सजेशंस लेते हैं. काफी लोग बहुत सारे टिडबिट्स शेयर करते रहते हैं. समटाइम्स पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन भी शेयर करते हैं. लाइक पीपल विल आस्क क्वेश्चंस, आप क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या किया आपने वैसे, तो then it becomes a chance for the audience to get to know us as well. तो क्योंकि ऐसे कमेंट सेक्शन में भी वो थोड़ा सा वन साइडेड होता है कि वो कभी भी कमेंट छोड़ेंगे फिर हम देख के उनको रिप्लाई करेंगे, तो लाइव चैट में उनके साथ वो थोड़ा सा कनेक्शन हो जाता है, तो एटलीस्ट जैसे एक स्मॉल ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल जो हर बार शो अप करके बोलते हैं अरे आपको याद है हम आए थे लास्ट टाइम करके है, इट्स नाइस कि हम उनसे एक्चुअली ये फीचर के थ्रू मिल पाते हैं एटलीस्ट पर्सनली.
Yeah, I mean, the audience just feels valued. जब हम उनसे ऐसे बात करते हैं तो the audience feels कि अरे okay, the creator is taking note of us existing. तो as she said कि एक one way conversation नहीं होता है, two way conversation हो जाता है. ऐसे नहीं होता कि हम एक broadcast medium का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, हम social media का as a social media इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, हम actually उनके inputs की value कर रहे हैं and we are taking them into consideration as well.
हाँ, बिकॉज काफी बार काफी वैल्यूएबल सजेशंस भी आते हैं वहां से, तो वो बहुत वीडियो आइडियाज कि हमें ये देखना है, हमें वो देखना है, एंड या.
Well, that's really cool. So I think, as you rightly said, it's a two-way communication. हमें हमारी audience का भी उतना ही सुनना है, and we have to act accordingly. So great advice. अभी मैं पूनम जी के पास आऊँगा. पूनम जी, आपके लिए सवाल है कि आप आपकी ऑडियंस कैसे टारगेट करते हो और उनके लिए आप स्पेशल कंटेंट कैसे बनाते हो, कि आपको कैसे पता ये मेरी ऑडियंस है और इनको एक कंटेंट पसंद आएगा, तो आपकी क्या थॉट प्रोसेस रहती है?
जी, सबसे पहले तो मुझे यही लगता है कि ऑडियंस को सबसे पहले हम समझ लें कि जब तक हम उन्हें